All right, welcome. So this is the notes on Unit 1, Day 8. This is on page 41 of your packet, and I'm just going to go through the notes, so make sure you're taking notes and understanding the material. And then I'll be filling you in on what the rest of the information to do for tomorrow. So, yesterday we talked about complex conjugates, meaning you have the real part and the imaginary part. So remember, the first part was real. So anything on the number line, negative, 0, or positive. And BI, so the B value was the imaginary. All right, so there are some shortcuts. So for real numbers, if you have essentially the opposite, so you have a plus BI times A minus BI, this can be FOILed out. So you have A squared minus, to both of those, what, minus ABI, doesn't matter the order, we'll just put in alphabetical, plus ABI minus, because we need to finish our FOIL, B squared, I squared. Alright, there is some stuff that cancels out because this is one of those pattern ones. So we end up with A squared. Remember, I squared is a negative 1, so essentially that comes out and flips the sign of what it's with. Alright, so this is not something I'm ever going to ask you on a quiz or test, but there are some shortcuts along the way with these imaginary numbers. If you see A minus BI and A plus BI being multiplied together, you can shortcut it to just do the A squared plus the B squared. So no i's involved, is going to cancel out or be replaced by a negative 1. We're going to use this down here when we get I and get it out of the bottom of the fraction, similar to what we did with the root yesterday when we got the square root out of the bottom of the fraction by rationalizing. You're going to do this kind of the same thing with the I term today. So here it says, so if A plus BI is a complex number, then A minus BI, so they're just different because the information is adding and subtracting or opposites, is its complex conjugate. So complex because it's I, conjugate because you are changing the plus to a minus or the minus to a plus. The product of a complex number and its conjugate, so this means A plus BI times A minus BI, is always a real number. So what we're going to be doing today is to divide complex numbers, multiply the numerator and denominator by the complex conjugate. So all this means is when you are given the denominator, so if it's 3 plus 4i, you might multiply by 3 minus 4i. So just right now asking what the conjugate is. If it's 18 minus 7i, you switch it to 18 plus 7i. Alright, so we're going to be doing this here, and we're going to be doing it on the, getting the same kind of thing we did with the roots. Where is that big boy? So when we rationalized and got the root out of the denominator, we're going to multiply using the conjugate by getting the I out of the denominator. I don't know when and where they decided that stuff should technically, presentation-wise, not be in the denominator, but they just did. Okay. All right, so what we're concerned about is having I at the bottom here. So whatever this is, we're going to multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of this. So all you do is A minus 6i, what? A? I don't know. So if it's 2 plus 6i, we multiply by 2 minus 6i, top and bottom. Okay, if there's one thing on top here, distribute. 10 minus 30i. On the bottom here, you can either FOIL it out and totally fine, it'll get you to the same place, just be careful. Or you can follow the shortcut here, and either way is fine. if you want to try the shortcut, go ahead. It's a squared plus b squared. Otherwise, I'm going to go through and show you the foiling. So 2 times 2 is 4, minus 12i, plus 12i. There's our canceling part. Minus 36, because it's 6 times 6, I squared. Okay, cancel. So I have 10 minus 30i over 4. Okay, the I squared changes to a negative 1. So it's negative 36 times negative 1. So it's plus 36. So that means I have 10 minus 30i over 40. Then reduce if you can. So reduce each one by the same thing. 10. Reduce. So 1 minus 3i over 4. Now, if you're going back to the shortcut and saying, how does that work? Okay, 2 plus 6i. Alright, so if we're doing this, this is the a part and this is the b part. When we're doing the conjugate multiplying, we do a squared plus b squared. So we have 2 squared plus 6 squared, so we have 4 plus 36, which is our same number we had here at 4 and 36 to get 40. So shortcut works. So if you feel comfortable, go ahead with letter B. Make sure you multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the bottom, so 4 plus 2i and 4 plus 2i. Now you can do the shortcut on the bottom because A is 4 and B is 2. However, you do need to FOIL the top because these are not conjugates. They're not the same numbers but opposite plus and minus. So you do need to FOIL, do some foiling out, for lack of a better word, distribution kind of thing. 4i plus 12i plus 6i squared over... I'm going to do the shortcut here. So 16 plus 4. If you need to, FOIL it out. It'll be FOILed out, it would be 16 minus 8i plus 8i minus 4i squared. So 8 plus 16i. That changes to a negative 6 minus 6 over 20. So we got 2 plus 16i over 20. Reduce it all by 2, and you end up with 1 plus 8i over 10.